everyone, it's Nichol Spohr for Simon Says Stamp, and today we are creating a couple of cards featuring components from the Simon Says Stamp January 2022 card kit called Warmest Wishes. We will be using the Warmest Wishes 6x8 stamp set from the kit, as well as the dies. Those are an add-on purchase. The La La Land Crafts Starry Night 6x6 double-sided paper, and some of the solar white cardstock included in the kit. I'm going to start by stamping my images here on the smooth white cardstock included in the kit. Because I already was stamping up 3 of these trees, I thought it would be really fun to go ahead and do 2 cards at once. So I'm simply going to flip my paper around and stamp the trio of trees again. Then I'll clean my stamps and we're going to stamp a couple of the snowmen, or as many as we can fit in between the trees here, and then we will die cut our images and color them in. So I'm just taking a little Simon Says Stamp cleaner, cleaning up my stamps. We're going to pop them back in place here on the sheet. This is a fantastic stamp set. Yes, you could use it for holiday cards. The holidays, or Christmas at least, is over now. I love, though, creating winter themed cards. So my goal with my cards here today was to create some wintry, snowy feeling cards that could be used for lots of different occasions just by switching up the greetings. If you've got birthdays, if you have other occasions, thank yous, thinking of you, friendship, hello, whatever the occasion might be, these are the perfect kinds of cards for that. And that's what I was going for with my 2 cards here today. I have stamped 2 of the snow people here. I'm going to have to grab another piece of paper to get the 3rd one. I just didn't want to get them too close together in case the dies overlapped, which you definitely don't want to do. So I did go ahead and just stamp my last little snow person there. I actually blurred it really bad, and so I'm going to re-stamp it because I wasn't super happy with that image. And that, I think I just moved the cover of my Misty a little bit. That looks so much better. Okay, now I am going to die cut my images. I know I'm doing this a little backwards today. Normally I color them first, but I went ahead and die cut them, and then we will color them in. These trees are amazing. And these are the kind of trees that I could use on any kind of card. So keep these in mind if you want to mix and match these with other images from your stash. I could see these working with so many things. I love that there's 3 distinct sizes and styles. The large and the small are really similar, and then I really love that little skinny tree. I am using YG 61, 63, and 67 for the green part of my tree. Now, I started with the dark color and I quickly decided that probably isn't going to work the best. So here is what I ended up doing for the rest of the trees. And I kind of did this assembly line style. I'll only color 3 of them here on camera, and I'll do the other 3 off camera to save some time. The base color of the tree is YG61. After it has that nice base color all over, we will blend in some YG67 using kind of a feathering type motion. Let's go ahead and color in that tree trunk really quick. And I really love that there's like little peaks of it all throughout the trees. So that's E57 and E55. I just figured let's go ahead and get that colored in here, and then we're going to go with YG67, and using a feathering motion, just little short strokes, we're going to feather out that dark color. And I'm going to do this throughout the whole tree. And then we'll go back in with YG63 and feather out a little bit further, which tends to blend out our dark color into the light without getting rid of the great texture that this technique provides the trees. This gives them a little bit more just like I said, texture and all of that good stuff that you want from a tree. I suggest just don't overblend. These are going to be layered back behind a Mama Elephant cover plate anyway, but they are going to peek through a lot, and I just really love the snowy forest. The basis of my designs today comes from the Starry Night paper included in the kit. All kinds of fantastic snowy themed pattern papers that create amazing backgrounds. No ink blending or stamping or any kind of technique is needed, and it looks amazing. So we're going to do two different kinds of scenes. One's going to be more of like, I would call it a night sky scene. Look how cute that tree is. And the other one's going to be a little bit more of a pastel-y type of ombre effect background. And that's simply from the pattern papers that I picked. You could pick any of the pattern papers that you get in the kit, and it's going to just change the look a little bit. I very much picked the colors I'm using to color in my Snow People's attire based on the colors of the pattern paper, but the tree colors are going to stay the same throughout both cards. So we're simply going to color in these last two little trees, and then we're going to move on to coloring in our snowmen, or snow people, I guess I should call them. I love their accessories. They are so cute. And you might think these trees are a little bit harder to color, but I found them pretty easy actually. And then just feathering in with YG67 and YG63. I have listed the Copic marker colors across the top of the screen for easy reference. And then we're just going to finish the second one, or third one, pardon me. And then for the snow people, we're going to do the two pastel snow people first. And then we will move on to our little red and blue outfit for the other snowman, or snow people. I keep saying snowman, but I don't think that they're all snowmen. There are actually 4 different snow people in this set. The 3 trees, a image that has lots of presents. I think, like I said, I know that it is after the holidays now when this video airs. So if you don't want to do a holiday card with this, you could always start now for your holiday cards for the next year, or you can use this because there's nothing about these that says Christmas for like birthdays or other types of occasions. As I mentioned earlier, if you've got some winter birthdays coming up in your family or friends, I think that would be so cute. Then there are so many sentiments, you guys. There's scripty sentiments. There are several different fonts, and we're going to use 5 different ones for our 2 cards today. Now, to give our snow people that kind of frosty fun look, I used B000, B00, and a colorless blender. I used YR04 and YR07 for the nose and R30 for the cheeks. And I just started with a little bit of B00, which is dark. And then we'll blend out with B000 and finally the colorless blender. I'm not going to overblend this. I know it looks a little funny here at first, but once you get the color added to their outfits, I love this little bit of frosty fun that this adds to our cute little images. Little nose. So I mentioned a minute ago, I pulled the colors of markers I'm using directly from the pattern papers. And this first one is going to be for the pastel background that you can see on your screen, which has kind of got like a pink, a lavender, and an aqua blue. I am going to use BV 13, 11, and 000 for the scarf. And then a little RV 11 for the little pink stripes on the scarf. I love coloring in these little accessories here. Also for parts of the hat. And you can see I went from BV13 to BV000, which doesn't give a very good blend, But then we're going to go in with our mid-tone, which is BV11. And then we'll go back with BV000 and kind of finish this out. It ends up really turning out cute, I think. Then for the little brim of the hat, I'm going to do a pink and aqua stripe and then a pink pom-pom on the tip of the hat. Some aqua buttons down the front are just a fun decorative touch as well. So here's that RV11 as the stripe, and then we're going to go into the hat with a little RV11, blend it out with RV10. Super soft pastel colors. It was kind of a treat to color with these after doing a lot more rich colors, I would say, and you know, a lot of traditional holiday. I liked the pastel vibes for this winter themed card. It was really fun. Little BG11 and 13, and then the little buttons. Now for the smaller snow person next to this one, we're going to do like a pink and aqua color combination, and I'm not going to do any of the lavender. I felt like I did quite a bit of lavender on this first one. I've also taken a white jelly roll pen, and I'm going to add some highlights to the nose, to the scarf, some little dot detail to the pom-pom so it looks like it has some texture. Oh, that's looking so cute. I love it. Okay, now we're going to color in the scarf and hat with RV10 and 11. I will be taking a white jelly roll pen and adding a little plaid detail to this scarf when we're done coloring. For the brim of the hat, I'm going to use 3 colors. So for the darker stripes, that's BG13 and 11. For the lighter stripes, that's BG10. So it's really all in the same color family, but it gives you that light and dark, which is the perfect little stripe. The little like ear flaps, or I can't decide if they're flaps on the hat or like ear muffs. I did BG13 and 11 for those, and then we're going to do pink and aqua buttons down the front. Little R30 for the cheeks as well. Everybody needs some little pink rosy cheeks, and then that little plaid for the scarf. Some little dots for the pom-pom again, and some highlights here and there. Now we're going to switch gears, and these colors are again pulled directly from the pattern paper that we're going to be using. So I started with a bold red coat. I love this hooded coat that this snow gal is wearing. This is R46, 27, and 24. The buttons on her jacket are going to be C9. I started with R46, and I'm adding all of my darker areas first. Then we're going to blend out with R24 all over, and then go back in with R27 and R46 as needed to add or to get the shading just so. Now, I didn't want this necessarily to have a Christmas vibe to it, so I actually picked some darker blue colors to use as the accents for the trim of her hood, around the cuffs and the hem of her jacket, and also the scarf around her neck. So those are all going to be like a royal blue color that I think complements the night sky perfectly. You could very easily turn this into a Christmas card if you wanted to, just with a few color swaps. So here are my blue colors, which are going to be B23, 24, 26, and 37. So I grabbed the pattern paper and laid it underneath so you could kind of see how I was influenced by the paper when coloring in the accent. So I started with B23 first and laying down that nice soft light color on the background of her scarf, as well as the detail for the little pom-pom on her hat. I don't know if it's exactly a pom-pom, but the detail on her hat. Then I used B26 for the dark part of the polka dots. It's not quite as dark as I would like, so we will be taking a little B37 and adding additional detail to that to darken those up. So cute. I just love her little outfit. Then we're going to take B24 and add in additional shading before blending out with B23. And I'm using B26 as well to add some shading and darken that up, even though that was the base color for the polka dots. And then we're just doing a little blend with B24 and then finally B23. And the tone on tone is super cute. So now we want to go around the trim of her hood and jacket with a little blue on blue stripe using these same colors. And luckily with using that dark blue, I could hide where I colored outside the lines a bit with my red into the trim of her hat. Okay, now that she's all colored in, we're ready to add the finishing little details with some highlights and things. We're going to stamp some sentiments, die cut our cover plates to finish off our scene, add a little detail, and that will be it. So first up, we're going to take sentiments from the Warmest Wishes stamp set, and we're going to stamp them on a scrap of the Neenah Solar White cardstock from the kit. This is a leftover piece from die cutting the cover plate that I'm using. This is a cover plate from Mama Elephant. In fact, all the dies I'm going to be using here on out, the cover plate is the Mama Elephant Winter Forest cover, and the speech or thought bubbles are called Let's Chat. I've also taken a black jelly roll pen and added detail to the eyes on my snow people. The 5 sentiments I picked from Warmest Wishes to use today are thinking of you, sending warm hugs, snowy greetings, let it snow, and wishing you so much joy and warmth. Stamping them one at a time, I'm going to stamp thinking of you with the Simon Says stamp Positively Saturated Surf ink. Sending warm hugs is going to be stamped with the Sweets Positively Saturated ink. Snowy Greetings will be stamped with the BUBBLEGUM Positively Saturated ink. And I'm leaving plenty of room in between each sentiment so that I can place the thought bubble or speech bubble around that phrase. Let It Snow is going to be stamped with Pucker. And Wishing You So Much Joy and Warmth will be stamped with Royal. And again, the color choices were pulled directly from the card that they're going to go on. So the pastel card's going to have 3 small phrases, and the more primary colored card is going to have 2. I picked different style of thought bubbles for each, just depending on the sentiments I was using together. I'm going to tape each of these to my paper with a little repositionable tape. This is some Post-it tape. Washi tape also works great. And then we're simply going to run them through our die cutting machine at one time. Now I did trim down the thinking of you just a little bit. It was a little bigger than what I actually wanted. You can see that it's really long. So I'm going to line it up with one side and the top and the bottom, and then I'll just roll it back through not all the way because it'll die cut the little tab off the thought bubble, but I'll just die cut it enough that it pops that one side and shortens it up. That's my favorite little hack for customizing a long thought bubble die that maybe doesn't fit your sentiment. So I'm just lining it up, taping it in place, and then we'll just roll it just barely to pop that. Now I wanted to add some customization to the Mama Elephant Winter Forest cover so that it matches the rest of the card and so that these birch trees really pop against the background. So it's going to be like you're looking through this forest scene where you see the snow person, the birch trees, and then as you're looking through the trees, there's the beautiful pines in the distance, and then either the pastel-y ombre sky or that winter night, starry night sky. They're both starry night, but just different colors. So I used very, very light colors for the trees here. This is E43 and 40. And I'm not going to go all the way to the edge. I want to leave that nice white frame all the way around my little scene. And then just like we're doing with the trees, along the landscape, that snow along the front, to match our snow people and to match everything else, we are going to take B000 and B00 and even a little colorless blender as needed. And we're going to blend out that area so it gives that frosty, snowy look. And that finishes off the scene perfectly. I cannot wait to put this all together and show you how cute this scene is going to look. I felt like the trees needed a little more color, so after I blended them, I went back with E43 and I'm just kind of feathering in going from the base up just a little bit. And then we'll blend out with E40 so there's no harsh line. I love how that looks. Here's the B00 first, just kind of lightly along the front. A little B000. Pull that color out just a bit. And finally, our colorless blender to blend out even more. Cute, cute, cute. I went ahead and went around the back and placed some adhesive strips along the 3 skinny sides and then some stronger adhesive along the bottom. I'm only going to pull the adhesive from the double-sided adhesive strips part of the way up. That's going to allow me to move this a bit if I need to, and I'm going to place that down on my background. That also will allow me to easily pop my pine trees back behind so that I can get them positioned exactly where I want them to go. I'm going to play around with placement just a little bit until I'm happy with it, and then we'll glue it all down. This would also make a very cute shaker if you'd like to put some adhesive or some acetate, pardon me, back behind the winter forest cover and then pop it up. You could always have some falling snow in the background and that would be super cute. So I'm just going to pull up my cover a little bit and layer my trees back behind. And I want them to peek through as much as possible. I love the depth and dimension this adds to the scene. And then the skinny trees, I'm going to use liquid adhesive instead of the tape adhesive. I'm just kind of carefully pulling up the side and tucking my trees back behind for maximum visibility. Love how cute this is. I'm going to pull out all of the double-sided adhesive backing and press that down in place. Now I'm going to pop up my snow people with foam adhesive. I think a little bit of foam adhesive just gives more depth and dimension to the scene. Look how cute! I absolutely love these components together. I think it just makes the most adorable winter scene cards. Then we're going to put foam adhesive on the back of our thought bubbles. I'm going to pull out the snow just a bit with my light B000 and colorless blender. And this is just adding extra kind of shading, shadowing here where the snow people are sitting in the snow, and it adds extra visual interest. Now we're going to take all of our sentiments. I've already prepped them with foam adhesive. I think I better lay them out first and make sure I like where they go. I kind of like them staggered so nothing is lined up perfectly. And then these are going to be adhered right over the trees. I love the little thought bubble look to this. I think it adds a really whimsical touch. Finally, we're going to finish our card with a scattering of star confetti and a little heart embellishment. So for the primary card, which I put together off camera, I actually added 3 red hearts. I'm only going to add 1 pink heart here to the small snow person, and then both cards feature some itty bitty silver star confetti. I love to hide little hearts in my designs, and this was the perfect place to pop one on the snow person chest. And then we're going to just add little dabs of glue all over. Using an embellishment wand, we're going to pick up these little bitty stars and pop them in place around the scene. This finishes it off and adds to that starry night feel, as well as gives a little bit of glitz and glimmer to a very fun, whimsical design. I even added a few over the tops of the trees as well as the snowmen. Thank you guys so much for joining me today for these 2 snowman scene cards featuring components from the Simon Says Stamp January 2022 card kit called Warmest Wishes. For your convenience, the supplies I used today are listed and linked below the video here on YouTube. Please be sure to visit the Simon Says Stamp blog for more information on this project. Thank you guys so much for joining me today, and we'll see you again soon. Bye!